Is it possible that one question an attorney asks during a scheduling conference in court could mean the difference between settling your case and not settling your case? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. Let me share with you a story of what happened on a wrongful death medical malpractice case not too long ago. I'm in court on a scheduling conference. We had just recently started a lawsuit on behalf of my clients who were the family members, the surviving family of this woman, their mother, who died. And now she sued a number of doctors involved in her care. And after we start the lawsuit, now the defense has an opportunity to answer the allegations. And a few months after that, the court calls the attorneys in to set up a scheduling conference. So now we have a definitive guideline, a roadmap of when things are supposed to be done. At this scheduling conference, which is a preliminary conference, I show up on behalf of my client. And now one of the senior partners in the defense firm shows up as well, representing the doctor. And I had never met this guy before. I knew who he was based upon his reputation. But he and I started to have a conversation. We introduced each other, and now we started to have a conversation, and he turns to me while we're waiting to fill out the paperwork. He said, "What's this case really all about?" Because he didn't have any real details on the case. In the span of 2 minutes, I tell him everything about this case. I tell him what his doctors did wrong. I tell him why it led to my client's death. I told him that we had a reputable expert to back up and confirm each of these things. So now he turns to me. He thinks about those comments for a moment. He turns to me and says, "What do you need to settle this case?" Now, that came out of the blue. I certainly was not expecting to get a request to settle this case at the very first conference in court. That is rarely done. But the moment he said that, I knew that this guy was a savvy attorney. I knew that he had done this before. And why is it a good tactic to use? Number one, he wants to get a feel whether or not this case can be settled, certainly at an early stage. Number two, if he settles this early for a lower amount, he looks like a hero to his insurance company. Number three, he gets to see my negotiating skills at the very beginning, which is key for him because it gives him an insight into what might happen down the road. So now he gets all this inside information just by asking one simple question. What do you need to settle this case? Now, he doesn't have authority to settle this case. He doesn't know whether or not this case can be settled. He doesn't even know if his client is legally responsible for what happened here. But instead, he's probing and he's asking the correct question. And that's what really good trial attorneys do. They develop a working relationship at the very beginning, and now they begin to probe to see whether or not this matter might be able to be resolved at some point down the road. And that one particular question led to us being able to settle this case after all the pretrial depositions were done. And in case you don't know, a deposition is pretrial testimony. It's questions and answers that are given under oath in an attorney's office. And by the time we were done taking all the testimony of the witnesses in the case, it was obvious to everybody involved in this case that his clients were in fact totally responsible for my client's death. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on in these medical malpractice cases here in New York. You know, I understand that you're watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you're thinking about bringing a lawsuit but haven't done so yet because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.